Hey everybody, welcome to Northernlion plays Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I think it probably needs no introduction. I was thinking about how to go through this. So a little known indie studio. They made Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls, you get the idea. It's a new From Software game. It just came out on Friday. I'm a few days late on the playthrough, but that's because I was playing, a little dipping my toesies into the water, playing Sekiro on Twitch. But I'm going to do a full series of Sekiro on YouTube. 3 or 4 hours I've played in the game so far. Let me hit you with a little wisdom. I've seen no bosses. No bosses so far. So nothing in a traditional Soulsy sense is spoiled for me. And without further ado, I think we should get started here. Just a couple of administrative notes. I'm playing it through on PC. It runs beautifully. I've heard some other people have had some issues. For me, it runs beautifully. Looks nice. And so on and so forth. But I am going to change, if I can figure out how to do it. Hold on here. I was going to change the language to English. But I believe, hold on. Must be in, I keep going back to sound and display over and over. You know what? Fine, we'll keep it in, there we go, it's language settings. We're going to take it to English. Why take it to English? Because I played through some of the game on Twitch in Japanese. It says Japanese is by default, so I didn't want to mess with that. But I've heard that the English voice acting is good and also a little goofy, and it was like that in Dark Souls as well. So I'm gonna, also, if I talk, I want you to be able to hear them and read the subtitles as well. Anyway, don't take me to continue here. That's not where I want to be. Hold on. See, it's not a spoiler. It's just this one, this save is literally just after the opening cutscene. So let me take you back to the main menu real quick, and I'll hit you with that opening cutscene. Please, we don't need to go through the splashes. Once we get going here, it's all over, boys. Give it 1 second. New game. Problem solved. Sekiro. I'm going to mostly shut up during the cutscenes, by which I mean I'll probably talk on occasion and annoy people. But I like the story so far in the sense that I really like the setting and lore.
Sengoku era. Japan was consumed by perpetual conflict. The fires of war raged on, spreading deep into the mountains, to the land of Ashina.
So, by the way, this is not a playthrough maybe you want to watch with the kiddies. It's rated M for a reason. There's a little violence involved. I'm not sure if you've seen any other footage. Consider this your caveat emptor, buyer beware.
Finally over.
Bro, you never go 1v1 against a Shigoki at close range. You gotta have a reach advantage.
General Tamura is no more!
Master swordsman Ashina staged a bloody coup and wrested.
I like, in English it sounds like the same guy who's like previously on Dragon Ball Z. In Japanese, it sounds so, so serious and sincere.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose? Well, would you look at that? Fascinating. Will you join me, starving wolf?
Okay, Snake Eater.
On that day, a young cub was taken from the battlefield. He trained relentlessly, and indeed, went on to become a master shinobi.
I'm actually stunned by how different this feels in English. Not necessarily in a bad way, but in Japanese I was like, yo, this is very serious and somber. In English, I'm like, this is it's like a skit on a Wu-Tang Clan album.
Defend him with your life. If he is taken, bring him back at any cost. You understand me, don't you, Wolf?
Alright, so now we get launched into the game. So there's a little bit of tutorialization up at the front, but if you haven't seen any Sekiro Shadows Die Twice...
Some 20 years
Sorry,
after
I'll be quiet.
Ishim's fall, the Ashina clan was on the brink of collapse. And the Shinobi, known as Wolf, had lost everything. Both the man who took him in and the boy he had sworn to protect.
So if you haven't seen any, I was going to say Shakira. I knew it was going to happen. I didn't expect it would be in episode 1. If you haven't seen any Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, it is still Soulsy, but it's definitely not Dark Souls 4. It's got a lot more aggression. It feels a little bit more like Bloodborne, but with a stealth element as well. And yes, I'm familiar with the game's shared DNA history with Tenchu Stealth Assassin, a game I played the official PlayStation Magazine demo disc version of many, many times. And it wouldn't be a From Software game if it didn't start with a dude resting his head on his knee, sitting down in like a decrepit jail cell or something. Anyway, don't let my sarcasm fool you. I'm loving Sekiro so far in the stuff that I played on Twitch, but I'm eager to get started on YouTube without having the aid of just being able to rely on backseating. And we'll see how it treats me. Alright. A letter thrown into a well. Kuro's Wolf, your destiny awaits you at the Moonview Tower. Escape from the well and find the tower bathed in moonlight. Even without a blade, you can reach and stay vigilant. Alright. So, first thing you gotta know right off the bat. Check it out, dude. Swimming. No, it used to be, in all the previous From Software games that I played, you sink like a stone. As soon as you touch the water, the hand of Davy Jones comes down and grabs you and sinks you down to the deep. Now we got a little bit of aquatic resistance, I'm happy to say. Alright, we're at the Ashina Reservoir. So this is still tutorialization, but it does a really good job of teaching the basics of the game. Basically, there's a pseudo-stealth element. I know people have called it a stealth game, and some people have taken issue with the stealth. I see it less as a stealth game in the vein of, like... Sorry, just cranking my own volume here. I see it less as a stealth game in the vein of, like, a Splinter Cell, and more in the... And basically kind of like a Seven Samurai sort of Akira Kurosawa sort of setup, where basically you're not really going into it like a Hitman, in my opinion, at least so far. You know, planning for every single encounter, how you're gonna attack.
That Shinobi at the bottom of the well.
That's me.
We didn't shackle him, restrain him, nothing. That doesn't worry anybody?
Not at all. Not only is he unarmed, he is completely
yes, the old depression technique. Works every time, except this time, but I can't fight them hand to hand. So I'm gonna make them pay for stigmatizing mental illness, never fear. Right now it's stealthy, and stealth definitely benefits you, but it's certainly light stealth. Let's put it that way. You do want to use stealth. Oh my god, I screwed it up already. You do want to use stealth to make the encounters easier. And tackle them on your own terms. But you don't necessarily have to engage in it, you know, in a compulsory fashion 100% of the time, if that makes sense. Excuse me, sir. I was just gonna say, I might be better off dying here. So that's embarrassing to me because I didn't die at all during the tutorial on my sight read. That time, embarrassingly enough, I got one shot. by the dude at the start of the tutorial. Mind you, you're not supposed to be fighting him right now. You're supposed to be avoiding him. That's what I get for saying stealth is not that important. But anyway, now that we got stealth out of the way, or we got our first death out of the way, I should say, this is it. From this point onwards, 100% guarantee, without failure, this will be a deathless run. NL, do you really think you should promise that, having never seen, you know, any of the bosses in the game so far? Yeah. Yeah, I think I am completely within my rights to do so. Okay. Alright, you so-and-so. Don't you dare. Alright, it's just that easy. I don't know what I did. I must have stood up at the wrong time last time. But you know what? Life goes on. So what we're doing right now, in case you're, you know, the games are not always huge on exposition. I think Sekiro is kind of like, it's an exception so far. We are Wolf, and we're basically pledged to protect the youngster known only to us as Young Lord so far. Which I just want to say, great name. Well past the, you know, my ability to use it. At the age of 30, Young Lord, bit of a tough sell. But if I have a child, why call them son when I could call them Young Lord? You know what I mean? And here, we're breaking him out of jail. He's been kidnapped. Lord-napped?
You did well to come here. It's been too long, Wolf.
They mostly come at night.
Come to free you,
Mostly.
my lord.
Well then,
Have at you.
raise your head.
This one's for North Carolina. Come on and raise.
Sakamaru, your sword.
I'm sorry. I am incapable of not cracking a joke. It's my fatal flaw. And also, you know, if only I were funny, it could be my
In
greatest
accordance
strength.
With the bond of lord and retainer,
Is that like a notary
you will
public?
pledge your life in my service.
As you command.
Now, as you might expect, now that we have our sword, which is called Kusabimaru, a katana given by Kuro, the divine heir and heirloom of the Harada family, a cadet branch descended from Ashina. Once thought lost, it has found its way back into the hands of the wolf. A shinobi's role is to kill, but even a shinobi must not forget mercy. Now that I have my sword, we can actually engage in the ancient art of combat. We have also just received a healing item. Healing item equals we can actually take a little bit of damage now. And in fact, probably just chunk on that bad boy right away. This is not an Estus flask. We will get the thing that's similar to an Estus flask momentarily. Never fear.
Loyal Wolf, I see you are wounded. I have something that may help. It is a special gourd of medicinal waters. Use it to heal your wounds.
What did I tell you? It's not an Estus flask. It's a healing gourd filled with vitality-restoring medicine.
Now then, were you gravely injured? Afterward?
After what?
Do you not remember that night?
I do not.
No. We'll talk about it later. Right now, we must escape Ashina Castle.
As you say.
There's a secret passage beneath the moat bridge that will take us out of the castle. Lord Ishin told me about it once. I ask you to find that secret passage. Once you find it, signal me with a reed whistle. You know, like you used to long ago. I will join you as soon as I hear it.
Alrighty. You don't have to tell me how to use the healing gourd. Trust me, I'll be getting my fair value out of it. I thought maybe we could jump up here. Just, you know, when you go through a Soulsy tutorial for the second time, you want to check and see if there's new stuff you missed on the first blush, you know what I mean? So this is important. A Shinobi aims to break an opponent's posture. Attacking an enemy is one way to achieve this. When an enemy's posture breaks, he is vulnerable to a Shinobi death blow, signified by that red dot. Some enemies will take more than one death blow to take out, but basic enemies will only require one. So you can kind of look at a death blow. It's like breaking an enemy's... It's basically like... it's how you kill them, in case that's not abundantly clear based on the name. But there's no... Hold on. I'll just demonstrate a stealth kill real quick. There's no, like, poise. Instead, you have posture. So you don't get staggered if you block something that breaks your poise, but combat is all around, or it's all about managing your posture. So basically, by parrying, you can see that meter at the bottom. That is gonna slowly fill up, and if it fills up, my posture's broken, and I won't be able to block anymore. Of course, if I just don't block, I will also take damage as well. Is this Tomo? Tomo? Young Lord? Would you like to come into the office? So you have to manage your HP, of course, but you also have to manage your posture as well, in order to make sure, basically, especially against large enemies, it's all about the tension and release of the posture battles. You're trying to get their posture up and not give them a chance to back away and recover it, and in the meantime, you're trying to make sure your posture stays high as well, or stays far away from breaking, I should say. So deflecting an enemy's attacks is another way to damage their posture. Basically, this is a parry mechanic, so just let me drink up here. But, in theory, should not be a problem for me. Easy money. We can also, sometimes these enemies will drop money, but maybe that's a little later in the tutorial. Alright, so what's coming up next? Let's see. 2 dudes. Teaching us the value of locking on. What you gotta do, and this is actually why I think... I've had... some people have said they haven't been immediately sucked into Sekiro, despite being big fans of the Souls franchise. I think part of the reason it's been a little bit easier for me to get into the game is because I played Bloodborne all the way through relatively recently. So this idea of like constantly managing multiple enemies and also having you know, parry be so important, because there weren't really shields. I mean, at least not shields that weren't jokes in Bloodborne. So I think I'm kind of just like predisposed, at least recently, to be a little bit more familiar with what's going on here. Plus, dude, how can you not love this? The animation is so good. The only other thing that's worth noting, and I just skipped that tutorial because I'd already seen it, but I'll relay it to you. Essentially, strong enemies will have multiple death blows that are required, I should say, in order to actually kill them. You got another pellet from him as well. So why not? And I'm gonna save you a little bit of time. That door is locked. So we're gonna wanna pick this up. And then the other thing that's, it really took me aback the first time I was playing through this area. You'll realize... Oh, screwed that one up. Sekiro actually has, like, honest-to-goodness platforming. And it works. We've come a long way from needing to turn off some camera settings in order to walk through the flying buttress in Anor Londo, let me tell you. Alright. So eavesdropping, not only valuable for lore, also can give you tips about like what enemies are weak to what. Now I gotta admit, this guy gave me my first death in my Twitch playthrough. So, oh, he's definitely discovered me. This time, not today. It's the dude from 300. You know, the one that, I mean, spoilers, but, you know, the Battle of Thermopylae happened like, you know, a couple thousand years ago. He sold out the Spartans. You know, you haven't seen the movie? Come on, it was a huge movie, dude. Can I just be reasonable? That guy. Alright, more medicinal pellets. Now I'll just level with you. I might be missing items. That's just kind of par for the course. You know, if you're out there, you want to see 100% all items unlocked, all lore, etc., etc. You know you're watching the wrong dude, right? You're watching me to see a 30-year-old baby boomer try to work his way through yet another Souls game.
Wolf.
Somebody get this kid some shoes.
Now let us leave this place.
Yes, my lord.
But the tutorial's not done yet.
To think that this is the only way to run from the fated bloodline is the only answer.
Also, I just wanted to see. Are you following me? Here's the thing. I wanted to see if maybe I could get up here. I don't think you can. No. Alright, fair enough. I know that you might be able to get down here, but I was told that there was not good loot down there. Either way, there's also a very, just to let you know. Look, kid, you still here? What happened? Probably ran all the way through this section already. I love Dark Souls, like Dark Souls 1 especially, but also I think of all the Souls games, Bloodborne's my favorite. And this one is starting to give me Bloodborne vibes. They talk a lot about blood, divine blood, curses, you know? I have a feeling that things are going to get a little bit more supernatural as time goes on.
The divine heir. Last we stood together was your uncle's funeral.
Jeez, dude, you're harshing my vibe.
Lord,
Just trying to escape with the divine... Oh, he's talking to the kid, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This to me.
Alright, chat, so I'm going to hit you with a light spoiler. This is a Mega Man X situation. Apparently the developers have said that this warlord can be killed in the early game, like in this fight. I don't know if that's actually possible, but you're expected to die here. So I can, I'll try. But he's poised, you look at it, he's very strong. Later on, we'll get combat skills. It'll give us a much better chance against this guy. So the only other thing I haven't mentioned here is I'm mixing in lunge attacks occasionally. Which are just like, they take longer to charge up, and they also deal more damage to enemy posture. I keep calling it poison posture. Just consider them interchangeable. And we get this beautiful moonlit silhouetted shot here. Just get it all out right now. Rip, F, bad ending, etc., etc. I love that dude's bow, too. It's either a bow or a stand-up base.
The divine heir will be coming with me.
Yo, Cicero, what are you doing here, dude? So that kind of sets the stage for the very beginning. Now, once we load in here, we're going to find ourselves kind of in the first Undeadburg situation, the first chance to actually explore. But before that, we're going to have an abundance of conversations, so prepare yourself. Dude, you're using the shoe rack as a blanket. It can't smell good. called a prosthetic. Look it up, sweetheart.
So you're awake. Looks like death is not your fate, just yet.
Yo, is this Walder Frey? Look, I already made jokes for this whole section in a different platform. I'm working, doing my best to try to come up with new ones for the video, for those of you who may have seen both. This is the Shinobi prosthetic, the artificial arm of a shinobi, passed down by the sculptor. A replica of a human arm fitted with a variety of mechanisms apparently designed with modification in mind. While it bears a number of cuts and is stained thick with blood and oil, it has been impeccably maintained. So this is the kind-faced Buddha statue, by the way.
Kind-faced Buddha there. That isn't one of mine. It was carved by the true sculptor. When a man must confront what is inside of him, it can probably be of help.
We'll talk about this kind-faced Buddha later.
Anger, sadness, or perhaps old memories of times long gone. That kind of thing.
Just consider this right now. You remember from The Empire Strikes Back? This is the weird tree in the Dagobah system. We'll return to this later. First, we're gonna speak to this man.
Yourself. Your eyes, the eyes of a wolf who has failed in his duties. Or so it seems.
These eyes have seen a lot of lows, but they're never gonna see another one like I had with you.
Spoken like a true shinobi. I must carve the Buddha. You do what you will.
Hey, what's this about my new left arm, dude?
My left arm. What did you do to me?
That is what I call the shinobi prosthetic.
Look it up, sweetheart, etc., etc.
For a one-armed wolf. Useless when it comes to carving Buddha, though. You can have it.
Shinobi prosthetic.
It is no mere replacement for your lost arm.
Is this
Come
Liam
to me
Neeson?
if you find any shinobi tools.
Shinobi tools. I see. For this device.
You catch on quick. If you bring me shinobi tools, I'll find a way to fit them to the shinobi prosthetic. Then you'll come to appreciate its worth. I've said too much. Go now.
Alright, if you say
You're
so.
quite the struther, but there's two.
I know you're like, it's NPCs, it's NPCs. I'm not skipping lore. I just, there's progress to be made, okay? So here's what we're doing. Pick up item, medicinal pallet. This is a sculptor's idol. I'm gonna level with you. It's essentially a bonfire. You use it to rest. You use it to replenish ammunition for your secondary weapon, which you'll see, you know, momentarily as we get on here. But my preference in these sorts of games is always just to get started. Oh, would you look at that? We got some Spider-Man action. So we're gonna play a little bit more here. God, it's gorgeous, dude. Because I haven't really accomplished anything yet. And we're at the part of the game where we can actually start to get some stuff done. So we're at the Ashina outskirts. This is where we're going to have our first opportunities to start to plan encounters, engage with enemies, and so on and so forth. Now we can fast travel between those sculptors' idols as well, which is what it's telling you right there. We got an item. What is this? Ah, Ungo's sugar. It's a buff. Sorry, I'm bad habit. Because we just had some exposition, I'm going too quickly. We have an enemy. We also have an item. Do we have enemies below us? I can't remember. So hello, my mistake. Upgrading yourself works a little bit differently than it does in other Souls games. All that prompt basically said was hold X to, you know, pick up items that are dropped by enemies. We don't really upgrade our stats, you know, in the same sort of stat selection screen that you would expect from previous Souls games. Instead, we get prayer beads, and when we get enough prayer beads, we can use these prayer beads to upgrade our posture and vitality, essentially. But for now, you don't need to worry about that. Let's just get to some, you know, get busy living, get busy dying. You know what I mean? So we got ceramic shards. I'm just demonstrating how you would use them here. Oh, he discovered me. I did. Like I said, demonstrating how they are used. You use them, you throw them at enemies to trigger their aggro. And then after triggering their aggro, sometimes you can get them to come to where you are. Or you can circle around and get a death blow on them. So these guys, hatted individuals, normally, the best way I've found to take care of them, is not hard, but the best way I've found to take care of them is to use deflections. Just attacking over and over won't really get the job done, usually against those guys, in my opinion. Oh, they're gonna see me in just a second, so let's not and say we did. We can come back around the other angle here. The thing is, there's more than one way to eat a Reese's, and there's more than one way to tackle each of these encounters right here. None of these enemies are particularly dangerous, you know, at the time being. But, you know, why not show the myriad different ways we can handle them? Instead of, you know, just walking in and holding R1 on them. I think it's one of the things that makes Sekiro really cool and really unique, is this stealth ability. You know, in Dark Souls 1, when you were playing it through for the first time, at least back in the, you know, the ancient days before we knew you just put on Havel's armor. And I'll just demonstrate. You can do a drop stealth attack here. God, dude, the animations are so good. But there was a lot of... Oh, and I forgot to do this a couple of times. That's for sure. There's a lot of, like, pulling out your bow, shooting a single enemy to get a little bit of aggro, and then moving on from there. Just trying to see if this guy had any money on him. In this, we can actually just, you know, pick enemies off one by one. Although we've done a pretty crappy job of it, because this guy obviously knows where we are and he's trying to shoot us. So we can block enemy projectiles. Does take a decent amount of posture off. But once you get up close and personal with these guys, you know, they're nothing serious. So the hatted guys, you remember. You can see, as I deflect, it's doing posture damage to them, which allowed us to get in here real easily. So Fistful of Ash, I'll equip it once we get safe here. Hey! If we get safe here, I should say. Oh. Fistful of Ash essentially serves as, like, a distraction. It's basically, people have joked about it, but it's pocket sand. I'll even demonstrate here, because, you know, it's one of those items you get in abundance. Basically, an enemy comes up to you. You're getting a little overwhelmed. Maybe your posture is low. You go like this. Afa. Not really a smoke bomb. More like you're literally throwing sand in their eyes. Alright, so we're going to come up. Commune with the sculptor's idol. And we might as well rest. Because resting, of course, replenishes our healing gourd and also our HP. But we're going to do one other thing first. This is where the game really starts to take off, and that's where I'd like to leave you. We're going to pick up this item right here, a shuriken wheel, a mechanical device made by the mechanical Aegis Dogen. Can be fit into the Shinobi prosthetic to become a working prosthetic tool. While it is palm-sized, a surprising number of shurikens can fit into the shuriken wheel, as the edges were designed for stacking. A fine example of what can be achieved when one matches mechanical finesse with the Shinobi's talent. So, we're gonna go back. Dude, this is a bad habit. I should really stop skipping those. I know there's a dog down here. Don't even worry about that guy, you know? He's a little soulsy in the sense that, you know, if we kill him and then we rest, he's gonna be back anyway. So we're gonna travel back to Dilapidated Temple real quick. This guy's gonna outfit us with a Shinobi prosthetic. And don't you worry your pretty little head about the NPCs. We'll get down with the NPCs on the next level, or in the next video. For now, I just want to demonstrate some mechanics.
Yes.
I said before that your prosthetic arm was a fang. But by fitting Shinobi tools to your arm, you'll be able to change the form of that fang. Thick shields, break them into splinters. Swift foes, Bring them down from afar. Fitting more devices means more ways to slay your enemies. If there's someone that needs killing, there's a proper way to kill them. That's all there is to it.
Seems you know this prosthetic very well.
I should calm myself. The more I speak of bloodshed, the more demonic my sculptures will become. Give it ear. I'll fit that tool for you.
Alright, so we will fit our prosthetic. And all of a sudden, he's probably going to talk to us a little.
That kind-faced Buddha.
This dude won't shut up about the kind-faced Buddha.
Anything funny with it.
You got nothing to worry about, dude. Kind-faced Buddha is safe with me. So this used to be locked. Now it's unlocked because we can equip prosthetic tools. And there we go. We got 2 spirit emblems. So we can find these throughout the environment. And we can also purchase them. Which is probably what I'm going to do right off the bat here. Because how much money do we have? 88? I think we should purchase, 8 of these just for now. We don't really need the money for anything else. And then I'm going to leave you on a little cliffhanger. Once we teleport back here, I'm going to hit you with a... what I find to be the best use case for the shuriken so far. And then we'll catch up in the next episode. Like, hello, dog. Press right trigger. Instant death. Nothing you gotta worry about. The shurikens actually are not really that strong. They're just pretty good against, specifically, the dogs. Hello. But it is costing us spirit emblems. But honestly, we will get more back as well. So for now, a little bit of a lore-heavy episode here of Sekiro. We're gonna continue moving onwards in the Ashina outskirts here. And we'll encounter a lot more enemies as we go. Maybe even the first few mini-bosses. But for now, thanks for watching. Excited for the rest of the series. I hope you guys are as well. Things are going to pick up from this point onwards, I promise. We've done the necessary opening cutscene, chosen undead, etc., etc. Now it's time to slap. Click the like button if you enjoyed the episode. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. It's going to be going on for, hopefully, a long, long time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. See ya!